4-year-old Will loves dinosaurs, soccer, and his sister Natalie.
You already know how to hold her.
He is a happy, healthy little boy, which his parents say is a miracle. 12 weeks before she was due to deliver Will, Sarah Popp went into labor.
Next thing I know, she's telling me I think my water might have broken.
I couldn't believe it was actually happening.
We didn't even have a bag packed for the hospital yet.
But doctors confirmed Sarah was in preterm labor. She was admitted to St. Mary's Hospital, where she stayed on bed rest for 2 weeks.
I woke up on the February 28th, and I thought, you know, I've been having contractions every 10 minutes.
That's probably when it really got scary.
After 24 hours of labor, William Cole was born.
The unit from the NICU was there to take him and look him over.
And they took him in the other room, and you can hear them working and talking, and you're just waiting for that cry.
It was probably a good 20, 30 seconds before we heard anything. It was very emotional. For me, it was happiness. We had a son. I mean, it was great. He was gonna be great.
But Will weighed only 3 pounds, 15 ounces.
It's the smallest baby I'd ever seen. It was a shock.
It was really a joy to see him, but you worried all the time. I mean, is he going to make it? Is his heart beating?
I probably didn't know enough to be concerned. We weren't asking the serious questions like, what is the survival rate and what could go wrong?
That was just, I think, our way of dealing with it, just thinking positively and knowing that things were going to work out.
Good morning.
Will spent his first weeks in St. Mary's Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, learning the basics of survival.
He was here for so long just because he wouldn't eat.
Sarah and Johnny basically lived at the hospital.
I'd go into the hospital before I went to work, and then I'd come back over at 2 o'clock, and we'd spend until usually 9 or 10 at night every day.
I don't think there was any other option in our mind. I mean, that was the way we wanted to make sure we were there as much as we physically could be.
We got our parents involved with, you know, changing the diapers, taking the temperatures, things like that, bathing, so they don't feel like they're disconnected from their baby.
Because he was there so long, we got to know some of the staff incredibly well.
They would always leave pictures they'd taken in the night with little notes on them.
And you get to truly appreciate they're dealing with a whole nursery full of premature babies, and yet they can show the same care and concern for each one.
You've scored right on down to the bottom, haven't you?
After 8 weeks, Will was finally ready to go home.
Welcome home, Will.
But he would return to the hospital many times in the years to come.
Can you say thank you for taking care of me?
The Popp family visits St. Mary's several times a year, just to say thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy birthday.
Will even spent part of his 4th birthday here.
Happy birthday to you.
I want Will to know these people. I want him to know who took care of him. I want him to recognize what they did for him.
Do you remember the pictures we have of you in here?
He hasn't had any learning disabilities. He doesn't have any physical disabilities. I mean, there's so many things that could have gone wrong and didn't.
Without what they did, Will might not be with us today. So we
owe them everything.
owe them for his life.
I see Nurse Amanda waving at you. See your bud.
It's rewarding. I love that he's doing so well. His eyes, that's what everybody remembers, how big his eyes were. And now he's finally grown into them. he looks great, and that's, you know, it's wonderful.
Hello, how are you? Good. Here's Miss Natalie, yeah.
And now they also have a reason to visit the family care suites.
Remember when Natalie was born, you came to visit?
Natalie's birth was the opposite of her brother's. She was actually 6 days overdue and was induced.
It was a completely different experience. After she was born, we did everything. We kept her the whole time we were there. I mean, it was just as exciting.
I'll hold it up right like this.
Will was made to be a big brother. There's no question. I mean, he thrives on it.
She's tackled you.
When he grows up, I want him to continue going back and thanking those nurses. To me, they are always going to be a part of our lives, and we're always going to include them, because without them, who knows what our life would have been.
You want some of this, Natalie?
I want them to know that, you know, everything's great with us.
I'm going to tackle Daddy now.
and it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, good job.